This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Carbonite. Coming up on Destructoid, SimCity turns cloud saving into DRM, the War Z isn't exactly a crowd pleaser, and THQ files for bankruptcy. There is no news like bad news right now on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Welcome back, Tara, is what you should say to me.
Oh, that's right, you were gone.
I was gone. Many thanks to Adam Sessler for filling in while I was sick. You can probably tell a little bit in my voice that I'm still...
You sound gross.
Sorry, I'll try not to sneeze on you.
Gross.
Yes. But in the meantime, we do have a day of sad news, actually, kind of all across the board. Why don't you start us off?
All right, sounds good. So this is our second to last episode of 2012, and while it would totally make sense for, video game news to slow down just a smidge, before the holidays, there is no rest for the wicked. You might recall that zombie MMO survival-based game, The War Z, that was slated for a December release, I think. They were kind of weird about that. But this is, of course, the one that is very similar and should not be confused at all with the massively successful Arma 2 mod, DayZ. But if you've been keeping up to date with the gaming news, you might have heard about the War Z launching and the shit show that has surrounded that launch this week. So the game was selling pretty well. As people were like, "Oh, hey, there's this game. Let me buy it." And it was actually in Steam's #1 spot. But then user reviews and comments started flooding in, complaining that the game didn't actually offer a number of the features it promised. For starters, the in-game screenshots weren't actually from in-game, and they showed hordes of zombies, of which there are apparently very few in the game. The majority of the game's enemies are actually just other players killing you with flashlights and stuff. And apparently it's just kind of buggy and ugly looking. And there's a bunch of other stuff wrong with it too. The server cap was advertised as having 100 players at once, but in reality it was actually like 50. Hammerpoint apparently fixed this with a patch very quickly, but I guess they also added some more places for microtransactions. Did I mention the microtransactions? Because I mean the game itself costs $15, which is pretty cheap, but then it has all these like places where you pay for stuff even though you already bought the game, so that's just kind of tacky. All this stuff is crappy, obviously, and when things are crappy on the internet, people generally say so repeatedly in the comments. But in the case of the War Z, all the negative comments, user reviews, and forum posts on their their Steam forum and on their website were deleted by Hammerpoint's admins and community managers, which, of course, that's not how the internet works, and everybody just went and complained elsewhere.
People get really mad when you do that.
Oh, they do not like that. They will not be silenced. Of course, all is not lost. Valve has swooped in to save the day and sort things out, and the War Z has been taken down from Steam. After, how long was this out? This was up for like a day or something. It was a pretty short amount. No, it's not very long. The official page is still up on Steam, but you just can't buy it. And Steam has actually started issuing refunds to the many unsatisfied customers. Valve's Doug Lombardi issued a statement to Kotaku stating that we apologize for this and have temporarily removed the sale offering of the title until we have time to work with the developer and have confidence in a new build. So I guess they've kind of just pushed it aside there. If you purchased a copy of the War Z and you want your $15 back to spend on penny whistles and moon pies or whatever, you can hit up Steam's support page and ask for a refund. And as much as I would like to give Hammerpoint the benefit of the doubt and think that maybe they accidentally described their game inaccurately and then sort of were trying to rush out an unfinished build in time for the holidays so that all the kids could play the zombie game, they were deleting user comments. So basically, good riddance to this shameless clone game. I mean, it's a total ripoff of DayZ, which, and just a reminder, there is going to be a standalone version of DayZ running on the Arma 2 engine. That's supposed to come out sometime next year. So just save your money. Don't spend money on things like this, and we wouldn't have a problem to begin with. It's a terrible thing.
This whole situation has been so strange. I was reading a GameSpy interview with the executive producer of the game this morning, and they were talking about how he basically So the Steam description said you can have up to 100 players, and that was his excuse for only allowing 50. He was like, but we said up to, okay, that could include one player technically. What a crap excuse,
It's not how numbers work.
Yeah, just everything is totally misadvertised, which is disappointing.
Greedy move.
Good for Steam for removing that with haste. As if we needed more controversy today, THQ announced this morning that they have officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the state of Delaware. These guys have been in financial dire straits for well over a year now, thanks in large part to the poor sales of their UDraw tablet, which I continue to remind myself is a thing that once existed despite my wanting to forget. According to the announcement, they have entered into a stalking horse bidder agreement with Clear Lake Capital Group, who are set to acquire pretty much all of THQ's operating assets, which are currently valued at $60 million, including all of their games, which are currently in development, so Metro Last Light, Company of Heroes 2, as well as the 4 studios who made them, which is Vigil, Volition, Relic, and THQ Montreal. So at this point in time, it looks like none of their foreign studios seem to be affected. I know they have at least one in Canada. So obviously it's easy to jump to conclusions when you hear the word bankruptcy. You know, everybody just kind of goes, end of the world.
I heard the THQ robbed a bank.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
No.
But THQ was quick to assure stockholders that all of its studios will remain open. They said that they do not plan to have any layoffs, plan being the key word here, and they say that all of their current projects in development will remain as such for the foreseeable future, at least. So if you recall, earlier this year in January, THQ stock was actually threatened to be delisted from NASDAQ for trading below the $1 minimum for 30 or more consecutive days. I think when they debuted the Humble Bundle last month, they kind of saw a small bump in their stock thanks to that, which, by the way, raised over $5 million total, not for THQ, but just in total. Nobody still knows how much of that actually went to THQ, but alas, it was not enough to save the company, and the stock is now set to be delisted from NASDAQ within 9 business days. God, what a boring story this is. THQ's chairman and CEO Brian Farrell said of the bankruptcy, quote, "The sale and filing are necessary next steps to complete THQ's transformation and position the company for the future as we remain confident in our existing pipeline of games, the strength of our studios, and THQ's deep bench of talent." So this is not good news. I mean, I'm happy to see that they don't plan on completely shutting everything down and firing everyone, but like bankruptcy protection, never a good thing.
No, I mean I have faith that Saints Row will survive, because if it doesn't, I will be really upset.
I will cry, probably.
I would be really upset by that. But I mean, it's just hope for the best and hope everybody lands on their feet. Because if it's all fun and games to think about these as just sort of abstract floating video games, but there are lots of human beings who make these things, and they have families and houses and all that stuff.
Not a good year to work in video games.
All right. So speaking of video games, because that's what we talk about on the show, most of the video games EA has lined up for the start of next year seem to be co-op games about dudes in vaguely futuristic armor who are shooting stuff, sometimes with Kinect integration. So SimCity is really sticking out as their most exciting, unique offering, at least to me anyway. We already know that it's going to be on their dumb Origin PC service, the thing that is not Steam, and that's crappy. And I kind of made my piece of that a while ago. I was willing to give it a chance. Today, however, we've got a piece of news that pretty much just made me go, it only lets you use cloud saves. Now, we knew that SimCity was going to require a constant internet connection to play, and that's enough of a turnoff as it is. But according to a Reddit AMA that some of the Maxis developers did, you don't even have the option to save locally. So, like, all of your games are just on the internet. So, when asked about what would happen in the case of a lost internet connection, Maxis senior producer Kip Katsarelis stated that we will allow you to play for as long as we can preserve your game state. This will most likely be minutes. That's not a very long time. So yeah, of course, Reddit, being Reddit, someone quickly compiled all of the negative comments into one giant super mega comment that was just like everyone being like, why would you do this? Why would I want to only save on a cloud? One guy was like, I have this mystical device called a hard drive. Could I save things to that? But yeah, this mega comment would have probably continued much more if the actual poster hadn't reached the full character limit. So that's how many people are upset about it. Online-only DRM is a terrible, stupid thing. It is a bad thing, and people usually find ways around it. So I'm sure people will find ways around this, and they'll figure out how to save locally in SimCity, but the point is they shouldn't have to. Like, I'm not going to say this whole thing is justification for piracy, but when DRM becomes a game-breaking problem, people are going to crack it, and more often than not, these cracked versions attract pirates as well. So it's a stupid thing overall. People will pay money for games, and people will also not pay money and steal games. But I mean, this is a reality that EA should really just try and deal with. However, DRM like this, it punishes the paying customer more than it does the actual pirates. And in SimCity's case, this news is enough to make more than a few people want to change their minds about buying the game in the first place. In any case, if you want to play a game where you build a little city and you have to be online constantly, why not just play like Cityville?
Yeah, I'm gonna download Origin and play it, but I won't enjoy it. Anyway,
everybody.
So it's the holidays, which means a lot of people are going to be sitting at home bored out of their minds for the next week, myself included, and publishers are keen to exploit that boredom by offering big discounts on a lot of their games. Telltale has started off the trend this year by discounting episode 1 of The Walking Dead down from $5 to free. I love free things, so if you've been waiting to pick up 2012's Game of the Year, as deemed by pretty much every outlet ever, then now would be the time to do so. This deal is running for a limited time only, which apparently means less than a week, and I think they started it a couple days ago, so it's probably only a few days left. Point of note here, this is iOS only, and if you watched my review of The Walking Dead, then you would know that the iOS version of the game is a bit laggy. So my recommendation, if you haven't played it yet and you want to, is to go ahead and download the first episode on iOS for free, assuming you have an iDevice. And if it's not laggy, then go ahead and finish up the game on iOS. If it is laggy, but you want to keep playing for the story, then try switching over to PC, because that was the platform that I found had the least amount of lag on it. Also, if I may point out the obvious, we've given a lot of praise to Telltale for their, episodic format that they use for most of their games, which, by the way, I strongly urge other developers to consider. This actually lends itself very well to sales, because you can just make the first episode free and then get people hooked, and then, of course, they'll want to pay for the rest. Of course, that only works if your game is actually good, so make sure that's the case first. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope more games really start adopting that format.
I hope more games are free.
Yes, don't we all? So why don't we take a second to thank our sponsor, and then we've got some contest winners.
Speaking of free stuff.
If you've got important files or documents that need protecting, then Carbonite might be the answer for you. Carbonite protects your most important pictures and files from a computer crash, fire, theft, runaway raccoon, pretty much everything, by automatically and continually backing up your files and keeping them safe and secure off-site so you never have to remember to back up again. Whether you have 1, 2, maybe even 10 computers at your home or small business, Carbonite is simply the better backup plan. Over 1 million customers trust them to protect their files, and with plans starting at just $59 a year, it has never been easier to commit. Even better, you can start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code Destructoid, and you will get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy. Again, that is Carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 bonus months is Destructoid. All right, back to the show. So we have some contest winners to announce. Last week we asked you guys to draw Max and myself as Street Fighter and Tekken characters in order to win one of 5 copies of Street Fighter X Tekken for the PlayStation Vita that we have. I guess they're not here right now, so we can't show them off. But rest assured we have them, and now we have winners. 5 of them.
Ding, 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 ding.
Would you
Winners
kindly
alert.
do the honors?
Okay, here we go. First up, we got Miguel Angel Sosa Barajas, who has like 4 names. We've got Jin Kazama and Chun-Li.
Why are my thighs on fire?
Why does my nose look like that? That's not my nose. That does not look like my nose. Then we got Tim, who did Hwoarang and Sea Viper, and he actually wants his copy donated. And where is she about to punch me?
I'm just glad that somebody drew me without size triple H breasts. Thank you.
Anyway, Martinez Godfrey did Paul Phoenix and Blanca. Wow, I like this one.
I do too.
You make a good Blanca,
Even though
Tara.
I look nothing like Blanca, really.
You look like my old lamb lady there.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit. What? That's.
I like the look on your face.
I like that. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I like that your pants just say pizza.
Yeah, that's me, man. And then we got Shane Vaca, who did Hwoarang. I don't know how to say that. Hwoarang and Phoenix. Or Poison. Why did I say Phoenix? Poison.
Again,
Poison is.
Why so over-sexualized?
Because it's a Street Fighter X Tekken.
Also, what's up with my mouth? I don't even want to know. Never mind.
It's Poison. Anyway, Jim Sekula did Ryu and Nina. God, this one's good.
This one's really
good. That is
good.
really good.
Oh, this guy's like an illustrator.
Oh, he cheated by knowing what he was doing.
So that's awesome. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you guys so much for doing that. We always love these contests because we love seeing how talented you guys are. We're going to be sending out your copies shortly, and if you haven't already, please send your mailing address to cookies@destructoid.com. Otherwise, we will give your copy to a hobo.
Only email that if you won. So if you are one of the people
Yes.
whose names we said.
Or just send us your address, and maybe we'll send you something. I don't know. That's not how it works. So that marks the end of our show. Just a quick note. I know this may upset some of you, but this will be our last show for the next week. Tomorrow, I will be making the great pilgrimage down to Texas for the holidays.
The sunflower
Max,
state.
Yes, no. Max will be with his family as well. So no live show this Friday, no shows next Monday or Wednesday, but we will be back with an episode on Friday, December 28th. Max will still be out of town then, actually, so I'll have to grab Anthony or Adam to co-host with me, but mark my words, there will be video game news.
And I will not be here. I will be shooting guns in the backyard with my brother.
Are you going to Texas also?
No, we just have BB guns.
Oh.
Still in California.
So yeah, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, cheerful Kwanzaa. Is that how the saying goes? And we will see you on the other side of Christmas, not hell.
Be good and hug your family and don't drink and drive. We love you. Take care.